leaving Waynesboro, and let's head that way. Wow! Looking good. Roanoke, 115 miles, so okay. Speed limit 45, way slightly faster than the Skyline Drive. That's the 10 mile an hour I wanted. Cool. No barriers though. Okay, a little bit about the Blue Ridge Parkway. Now, looking this up, not only is it a fantastic biking road, only 400 miles with no lorries, it's got to be good. I've been on it for 15 minutes now, and I swear I have seen nothing else on this road. It is a bit cold, but it's a beautiful day, but there's nothing else on it. So anyway, a little bit about the Blue Ridge Parkway. My understanding from the story of this is that during the Depression in the 1930s, the government wanted to put the labour force to work, and they had lots of labour, but nothing really for them to work on. So they created these sort of national projects. The Hoover Dam was one of them, but these parkways were another. And the Blue Ridge Parkway was a concept where they could get lots of people together, manual labour, to cut a swathe through the Blue Ridge Mountains. Bearing in mind, most of these mountains are pretty inaccessible. This where the hill digging term comes from. You know, there's going to be very remote here. But what they did is they bought a strip of land right the way through the centre of the Blue Ridge Mountains, and anybody that had property in that strip of land were told, you don't have to move, you can stay there, you can live there, live out your days, we'll own the land, but you stay on provision that you leave everything exactly the way it is now. So what we're going to find today is some places where some buildings, for example, that were there in the 1930s, that have been there for quite a lot longer than that have been preserved. So it's almost like a time capsule of America. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of the highlights of this route. But that's basically how it worked. It took a good few years to build, and I'll get the details later, but it took them a good few years to build and a lot of money. But what it was government money going into the pockets of the people, and that's how they spent their way out of the Great Depression. But that's a little factoid for you. Hope you enjoyed that. I think it's been snowing here recently. It might explain why my fingers are falling off. What a place though. There's places like this on the planet, and they've built a biker's road right the way through the middle of it. They're geniuses. Need to remind myself next week when I'm complaining that it's too hot that this is bloody cold and it's not nice. Right, we're climbing again. Just gone through a couple of little valleys, lovely green valleys, but we're climbing again, and some of these roads are just, I mean, look at this. I mean, it's heavenly. Anyway, we're climbing. I've got Jimi Hendrix playing in my ears all along the watchtower, and with that sort of soundtrack and roads like this, it's just heaven. Heaven, heaven, heaven. Anyway, speak to you later. Too good to be true. I thought I'd seen the last of the snow, but no, it's snow again. The roads are clear though. Quite, it's like the top of the world up here. Again, I think I'm on they call this the crest of the Blue Ridge Parkway. So I'm assuming this is the top bit. But they're very high up. And again, it does make me question how they think, I don't know, we'll just draw a line through that and build a road across it. It's an epic road. Okay, just a quick stop for lunch. Well, I say quick stop. Pulled off into a little town halfway along today's ride called Roanoke, and I had an Applebee's. It's a chain, I know, but hey, it was hot food. Did take me just over 15-20 minutes to stop shivering uncontrollably, because it is so bloody cold. You have no idea how cold it is up here. But hey ho. Right, another sunny, bright morning here in the US of A. I came off the Blue Ridge Parkway at Fancy Gap yesterday afternoon, and made my way to this town just outside Fancy Gap. Basically, this is just a complex of hotels, I think. Struggled to get in actually because there's a race meeting here nearby. I think NASCAR race close by, so they were fully booked. But I managed to get a room here for the night. Pretty uneventful, but the morning, the sunrise this morning, I'll post a photo, I'll put it on as I'm speaking, but incredible sunrise. What do they say about red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning? Yeah, I'm waiting to see what the weather's going to do to me today. Yesterday it dropped down to minus figures, and it's persistently snowed through the afternoon, and some of the roads along the higher ridges of the Blue Ridge Mountains were still had snow on them, so quite a cold, chilly start to this part of the journey. So later today, well, as soon as I get going, I'm heading back to Fancy Gap and jump back onto the Blue Ridge Parkway. It's going to take me about 250 miles. I'm about halfway through. I'm at milepost 200, so I'm about another 250 miles today. Right, we're back on the Parkway. What have we got? Cumberland Knob, 18 miles, Asheville, 188. I was going to stay in Asheville, but I've come up with this Iron Horse motorcycle resort, which is probably about another 50 miles further on. So I've decided to push on for that. But like I say, clear blue skies. The roads are clear. There's ice on the side of the road again. So as you can tell, it's going to be another chilly day. But I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what today brings. How gorgeous is that? Okay, hi. I've been kicked off the Blue Ridge Parkway, not for speeding, which is what I thought it would be, but because the weather's further down the road is causing problems. They've closed the parkway in about five different places, but they don't offer any diversions. So you come off, and then you have to try and figure out how to get back on. And without phone signal, it's turning into a bit of an ordeal. So I've come off at a little town in North Carolina with a very big name. This is Sparta. I want to live here just so I could be a Spartan. And these guys kindly over in the Muddy Creek Cafe made me a coffee. They're not open yet, but they made me a coffee and let me use their Wi-Fi. And I'm going to now head down to Asheville. Which is kind of the last point that I would have dropped off of the Parkway, and then move on from there. But I'm going to stay off the interstates. I've picked a little route that's going to show me a little bit of North Carolina, and from what I've seen of it so far, apart from being bloody cold, they're great people, really hospitable. So yeah, that's me off the Parkway now. Bit of a shame really, I'd like to have seen it all the way through, but as you saw on some of the videos this morning, the snow hasn't really melted here, and it is still just hovering around freezing. So if they had snow last night on the high ground, they've closed the road, so never mind, these things happen. Okay, I've got to show you Sparta. Sparta, a little town in North Carolina. That's the town hall. I think the sheriff's department's on the back of that as well. Lovely little church. I'll show you the Muddy Creek Cafe where they kindly made me a cup of coffee even though they were shut. So, 20 mile an hour. Slow down. So the second church. Big army truck. So that's the Muddy Creek Cafe. But it's also part of the church and part of the Chamber of Commerce. We've got some lovely little sleepy shops here. Farmers Hardware. Town Hall? No, that's the county courthouse. So this is where the Spartans live. Like I say, little town, big name. But I love it. It's really friendly, really lovely. So what's this place? That's another church. So that's our fourth church in 400 yards. I think they love God. chicken joint. I think this is the school coming up. We came past here earlier. Yeah, we're in the school zone now. So now you have to crawl. Mind you, it's Sunday, so... Is it Sunday? I have no idea what day of the week it is anymore. That's Sparta school. They teach all the Spartans. And that's pretty much Sparta. Isn't it sweet? Love it. Right, got a bit lost coming round out of well, it was a junction. The sat-nav was saying go one way and my gut instinct was saying go the other. So anyway, I went with my gut and it was wrong, but it has actually put me back on an open section of the Blue Ridge Parkway. Just loading up. Loading up. A few bits of saltwater taffy before I get going. I can quit this anytime I want it. Anytime I can quit it. It's not today. I need it today. Right, good evening. Long day's ride. Feeling a bit worse for the wear for that one. It was a very long ride. Got mucked about on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Kept getting spat out. But hey, persevered. It was still a good ride. I find myself in North Carolina, which I've just discovered is a dry state. So I'm in the the Iron Horse Motorcycle Resort. Now this place is set up to allow bikers some inexpensive accommodation where they can explore the roads around here. Now I came back, I got here about 4:30, 4:45, and then I decided to go out and look for alcohol. Waste of time. So I went for a little ride around without all my kit on the bike, and it's amazing. The roads around here are fantastic, absolutely gorgeous, and I can see why people are drawn to the place. But normally this is packed apparently, but being that I'm still here in the winter, there's hardly anybody here. I've just had a chat with some guys in the restaurant. They do an absolutely mean Tennessee pot roast. Yeah, didn't recognise it. Very tasty though. But this place is, like I say, keyed up for bikers. So the bikes get better accommodation than we do. Now you can stay in cabins, but you can also stay in covered wagons. Look at that. Now in England we have shepherd's huts. They've got covered wagons. Now apparently inside there's a double bed, a fridge, Wi-Fi, heaters, all the mod cons. Absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful river. Social spaces, so you've got the big fire pit there. But as no one can buy any alcohol, sorry, no, they can't serve alcohol here. You can go to the supermarket if you don't get lost, and you can find it. But what a beautiful place. So anyway, I'm going to head back to my cabin and plan my route for tomorrow. My route for tomorrow, I think from here, I'm going to head to the dam where The Fugitive was filmed. Remember when Harrison Ford throws himself off to get out of the clutches of Tommy Lee Jones? Hold on. Good night, motorbike. That's there. And then just up the road is a place called Deal's Gap, which is the start of one of the legendary motorbike roads in this area called the Tail of the Dragon. It's 13 miles of twisty lanes. Now I can see it being a challenge for the normal sort of Harley Davidson riders here, but they have a tree of shame, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that. So every time you crash you have to put a bit of your broken bike onto this tree. And then after that I'm going to head to Lynchburg, I think, which any of you that drink Jack Daniels might know where that place is. And I'm probably going to spend the night there. So that's my plan for tomorrow. So this is my cabin. Not bad for $100. And I'll speak to you again tomorrow. Not sure if you've ever heard of grits, but I've been given a sample to try by this lovely lady. So yeah, grits. No idea what they're made of. Salt and pepper with a bit of butter. Really tasty. Still have no idea what it's made of. Why do they call them grits? Not gritty at all. Yeah, I might have bought it. Okay, film fans. Look behind me. Sorry about the sunlight. It's wrong time of the day to do this. The sun's in the wrong place. But behind me is the dam from the film The Fugitive, where a very unconvincing and incredibly double-jointed and rather floppy version of Harrison Ford threw himself off the dam to escape the clutches of Tommy Lee Jones. I thought Harrison Ford did all his own stunts. It looked like him in Indiana Jones, but needless to say, he didn't do the stunts on this one. But beautiful little place. But yeah, that's the dam. I was thinking about going up there and seeing if I could throw myself off, but I don't think you survive personally. But hey ho, that's the dam. Move on. Okay, this is it. This is the tree of shame. The way that it works is if you crash doing the tail of the dragon, a little piece of you or your bike has to be left here as an offering and as a warning to all others. I'm hoping that I'll do mine today without leaving anything here. Ride your shit. Oh, that's so cool. I'm going to get a coffee. Sorry, got a slightly use an American accent. Wife's already told me off about it. But hey, you Merkins started it by adulterating the Queen's English with words like data and tomato. Yeah. Route. Ooh, that one gets me every time. This place is pretty incredible. It's like a biker heaven. I'm going to the gift shop in a minute and buy a sticker. Really big on their patches here. Don't know if to leave one of mine. I don't see any English ones, guys. Come on, get out here. Had to walk up and take a look at this guy. That's so neat. Bits of bone sticking out of his mouth and chewing up motorcycles. This place is cool. Okay, just about to leave Deal's Gap. Just had a very nice chat with a lady called Beth. I think she's just about to turn 80, and she's riding that African Twin in front of us. She's ridden it all the way across Canada. She's done about 90,000 miles on her bike. And Chris over there, who's on a GS. Very friendly people, and have just given me the advice and guidance that I need to do this road. I've had the full weather update, and they're all very interested about shipping bikes to Europe now, which is really cool. So anyway, I'm going to put you on time lapse now, and we're going to do Tail of the Dragon at super quick speed. Speak to you later. pretty amazing. I've never ridden a road like that in my life. That was 13 miles of some of the most incredible roads I've ever ridden. Geez, that's the tail of the dragon. 13 miles, 318 curves. I rode it gently. I'm exhausted. How people try and do that fast, I don't know. But yeah, absolutely brilliant road. I am absolutely stoked that was so good. And that's the bike to do it on, man. You know, it just cruises. There's a couple of places I passed where the people are taking photos of you. So in the good corners. So I'm hoping that I might get some good stills with me in the shot maybe. But I hope I'm doing it on time lapse. Didn't bore you too much. That took me probably about 13 minutes to ride that. And hopefully it won't be that long on the time lapse. But another 200 miles to do today to get to Lynchburg, home of the Jack Daniel's distillery. I've killed my motorbike. You can hear that, but the gearbox is not happy. It's pissing oil everywhere, smells bad, doesn't look good.